A gross 2025. The buck stops here, and here's hoping,
Happy New Year! I'm Bomber.
an okay New Year to you. So it's kind of average New Year. Oh, I'm Chris.
And you're about to listen to This Week in Sedgefield.
Happy 2025.
Hey, happy, mate.
Did you think you'd make it?
Yeah, we made it. By the skin of our teeth, we
man.
made it to 2025. And as I say every year, it's going to be a good year.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we'll speak through some of our hopes. You know what's just kind of weird to think about is that it was 5 years ago that it was lockdown and COVID and all of those things.
Yeah.
Pretty much 5 years ago. Let's call it
That's it.
5 years.
You're right.
And
You're
they-
right.
they-
We had by this time 5 years ago, we had kind of heard about this thing taking thing
The
in
world
Europe,
by
and we're
storm.
going, wow, hope it doesn't come here.
And I said to Tammy, to my wife, I was like, there's no ways it's coming here.
Yeah.
Like this is a them kind of
That's
problem.
it. Yeah, it's a first world
Whoa.
problem. Not a
Oh,
third.
it's so strange. Hey?
Man, to think back on that. Wow.
And we didn't know. We didn't know if it was going to be a good year. It certainly wasn't. And then there
Yeah.
were a few after that.
I
Well, a
remember-
relatively not good year. Let's call it that.
Yeah, I remember
Mm-hmm.
saying it's not 2020, it's 20 plenty.
Really?
Yeah, but I didn't say 20 plenty of good things, which I should have.
Yeah, no. You should have clarified.
Should have clarified.
We know who to blame.
Yeah, so this year is 2025.
Time to thrive.
Remember,
Remember?
2024.
No, I've
That
forgotten
was
already.
the year
Yeah.
that load shedding stopped.
Oh my, that's true.
Hey, we're just used to this thing.
Was
called
there any load
electricity.
shedding in 2024? I don't think there was.
No, there was.
Was there still?
Remember, it ended just before elections.
I don't.
And we thought, yeah,
A coincidence?
here it goes.
Yes.
But
Oh,
it
now
never,
I remember.
It
Yeah.
never came back. So they proved us wrong. It
Yeah.
never came back.
Well
So,
done
yeah.
to someone.
To someone who-
someone did their
yeah,
job.
yeah,
Oh,
someone
that's
did a
fantastic.
good job.
But hey, speaking of jobs, it's been a good season, I think, and a good holiday season from what I can see. And this is purely
Yeah.
observational for the businesses and especially the garden route.
Yes, I think so. Look, I haven't had a chance to chat to any shop owners because they're all just so busy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think they're hoping for the third wave.
Oh,
A
cool,
lot of
yes.
people go back to Cape Town and Joburg after New Year
With families and kids, especially.
But the school holidays are another 2 weeks. I think.
That's right. Yeah, a bit late. Eh? So that's great.
So they
Extended a bit.
another
Yeah,
wave
go
might
for
come
it.
down. But the people I have spoken to, people who've worked on the market, who have
Yes,
stalls at the market,
that's what I'm curious about.
They have said very good. The
Oh,
ones I've
that's
spoken
great
to
to hear.
have said really good,
man.
really best for a long time. So I hope that's what's trickled through.
Well, it's been
to
such good weather. There's been insane amounts of traffic. On a
Yep.
Saturday morning, we tried to get to Wilderness, and we thought at about 10 it should be fine. About now, it was not. It took us
Yeah.
like 15 minutes to get across, but we were relatively happy. I mean,
Yes,
it's those are
yeah.
people who are coming in and buying and supporting, and that's just so great. And we
What
have
a
some of our
pleasure,
family who came for a visit, and we did the walk to Heracles and the
Oh,
tide pool.
nice. Oh, great.
And they love the market, and now they're all decked out in a whole bunch of like the pants
Market
and shirts,
stuff.
market stuff, and they just love it.
Excellent.
It's so cool to have that little bit of, pride has a very negative connotation, as it should. So I don't know if it is the right word, but when somebody talks, from who you've introduced to Sagefield, to your town, and they say nice things about it to
Yeah.
others, you're just like, yeah.
That's it. And you're seeing it
appreciative.
through other people's eyes. Yeah, really, really cool. Yeah, we're just so grateful that.
So I'm curious
so many people
if there
here.
are stats. If we could speak to just stats in general. I like statistics. No, I don't.
Yeah.
But if there were stats for the markets specifically, the all of them, for how much cash came in over the season. If there's some kind of reporting there, I would love to see that.
I don't think
some
you're
kind of
gonna see
metric.
I don't, because
Yeah.
it might have tax implications. It might have all sorts. Look, I have to say that over the years we have we've tried to get input from various businesses and what have you about the seasonal trade.
Yeah.
And we normally just get, it's been good. We don't get facts and figures and what have you.
I'd love
oh,
to
it's
know
been
more.
good. Oh, it's been bad, so on and so forth.
Even just someone with a clicker, like counting how many people, how many cars are coming in for the market.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
It
know
would be
that's
nice.
very
It would be
boring.
nice.
But
Well, we used to rely on the tourism office. That's when a lot of the beds were filled.
yeah.
Through the tourism office, they used to handle lots of the bookings and
Okay.
whatever. So we get a vague idea.
That's
through
very
that.
vague.
But it's not the case anymore because there's Booking.com, there's
Exactly, Airbnb.
Lekkerslaap, Airbnb, all those things. And there's no ways that they're going to give us statistics for how many people they've booked into
Yeah.
Sedgefield. But yeah, the people I know who own accommodation have been happy. The ones that I know. And there's been a few, well, rather a lot, complaints about noise, hasn't there?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And that's always a good sign of a busy season. Is the
Certainly
amount
a
of
sign.
complaints and the amount of noise. Yeah.
Yeah, so there has been. I mean, I was having a picnic in the driveway with my daughter at about 7:30 this
As you
morning.
do,
And,
yeah.
as one does,
Yeah,
you know, holiday.
yeah.
And yeah, we could already hear some noise. I mean, it's very quiet at that time, so any noise, even from neighbors, you're picking up on.
Yeah,
You're
that's
hearing
correct,
a bit.
yeah.
But we haven't been in town, so we haven't been hearing.
Oh,
the
yeah,
noise.
you've been
So-
in and out of Plett and what have you. Okay.
So is this just from the dune?
No.
Is this just in general?
It's a general thing. I think party nights, basically. There's been a couple of establishments that have had live music.
Okay.
And look, I'm a believer in
Noise. I know.
yeah, that too. But also give people a bit of leeway over
Yeah.
season. It's
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they make their money and but then I say
Frikies.
that.
Yeah, but-
My house is not in a position where I hear any of this noise.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
it's easy for me to say, well, I put my head down at 10:30 at night and go to sleep.
That's it.
Whereas if you're kept awake all night by other people reveling in the spirit,
Party.
party.
Spinnerkop, hop, hop. Have you heard? That's the season song. Hop,
Oh.
hop, spinnerkop.
Oh no, I haven't.
It's about as good as that.
Is it? Is it hop, hop, spinnerkop?
I think it's Kurt Darren.
Okay.
It's a
Well,
vibe.
maybe you can play a little snippet of it.
Oh, we'll get shut
Are you
down. I'll
allowed
try.
to?
No,
No, you're not
but maybe
allowed.
for a few seconds. Well, let's
Yes,
see if we can try it.
Okay.
But there's also an English version which is hilarious, where it's
Okay.
like a word for word translation, and it's
Oh.
like hop, hop, spider.
Spider, if you stop going up, this body stops. Hook, hook, spider web.
and it's just great.
Just doesn't do it, does
No,
it?
not quite. Good fun on that.
Yeah.
But so we've had a lot of visits. For a lot of visitors from out of town into our coffee shops and our shops and everything like
Yep.
that. But one coffee shop has had a very special visitor.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It was shared on Facebook and
Oh, yeah?
somebody sent me some good photographs. Well, the owner of the coffee shop, Greg
Yeah.
from Fynbosch.
Greg's place.
Fynbosch Streetside Cafe, I think it's called.
Yeah.
On the 30th. That's the day before New
Yes.
Year's Day.
Yeah.
So New Year's Eve.
The eve of New Year's
The
Eve.
eve of Eve. Yeah.
Yeah. Eve's Eve.
A bushbuck ran, a fully grown bushbuck ran into his coffee shop.
Just an espresso. I gotta go. They're looking
Of course,
for me.
yeah, someone
What?
told me about this as it was happening. Someone
Yeah?
was actually watching. And being the slightly sick person that I am, I immediately the puns lined up in my
yeah.
head because
You're right.
there's so many.
Oh yeah,
There's so
you're
many.
at grandpa level puns. You're
Yes,
not you're not dad
it's not
joke
even
puns.
dad jokes.
I know.
So
yeah.
I immediately, the owner Greg,
Yeah.
wonderful man, and he's on my WhatsApp list. So I immediately asked if he was making a fast buck, and also mentioned that the buck stops with him. And everything else, that's
Anything you can think of, yeah.
Anything else.
Oh boy.
But the waterbuck bushbuck, I think it was
Coffee
ran
buck, I
in
think,
there.
yeah. The Starbuck.
Obviously,
The Starbuck.
Yeah, he's running a Starbucks. Nobody knows why. I mean, it's busy. The place is busy.
Good coffee. Saw all the people. No, but like, where would that come from?
I think it was round about. It must have been sort of 11ish. Maybe a bit later. But around the lunchtime rush.
Yes.
And I suppose everyone rushed out.
Yes.
And this thing ran in.
It must have crossed the highway.
It must have.
To get
well,
there.
there is a place that someone suggested to
There
me
is a
on
place.
Swallow Drive.
Yeah?
There's that on the other side of Swallow Drive.
Oh, I suppose so.
close to the water. There's those huge fenced-off properties with houses on, but some of them have buck in there.
Okay.
Maybe it was one of those.
Yeah.
But they eventually they had Sam's there. They had, I think,
Sam's
the
was
fire
like,
brigade came. People
what
running
do I-
in and going. So
What do we do?
Yeah.
Do we get a two rand coin slot on it? And
Yes,
just,
Do we
kids
hire it out
rides?
for rides or And then eventually, what happened was one of the vets came out and had to dart it. Which they did to sedate it, because you can't get
man,
this
it must
thing,
be panicked. Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's not a huge place, and can you imagine, as soon as you approach it, this thing's going to panic and just either hurt someone on its rush out
and break
or
stuff
damage
and-
stuff. Yeah.
But the photo you
Break
showed
the
me.
coffee machine. That would be the worst.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
But I mean, the photo you showed me, it seemed pretty chilled, just kind of
I
hanging
think that
out
was
on the floor.
after it had darted.
Oh, okay,
been
cool.
darted. So they
just hanging out
darted
now,
it
bro.
twice.
Yeah.
And then they took it away and put it in a sort of safe place. Sadly, according to the SAMS post, the Central Animal Matters post the next day, when the vet went back to check on it, it had passed away.
Oh,
I would imagine
sorry.
shock or something, because it would have been a mind blow for the animal itself. Not to mention the person sitting down eating his bacon and eggs. And,
I was going to say, and in our next advert, we have Feinbush and Sam's having biltong on a special. Ooh, I don't know.
Too soon?
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, because it has to hang for weeks, doesn't it?
Now you're in on it with me. You had the high ground there. Now
I
you've
did.
absolutely lost it.
Now I don't.
What an epic story. Jeez, that's absolutely wild.
I mean, that's I don't know. That should make a I don't know.
A new logo for Feinbush.
Yes,
That'd be cool. No, but there is Starbucks, I suppose. I just got that in my head now.
Yeah, I mean, what are the other puns? The buck stops with them, making a fast buck.
Fast buck. That was it. I thought when you mentioned it, I thought it was tying rockets onto a buck of sorts.
Yes.
Oh man, they got the bucks.
Yeah,
they're rolling in the
making
bucks.
rolling in the bucks. Yeah.
If you've got any more, please do chuck it in the comments. We're going to actually have a bit of feedback from comments in just a moment. But what we wanted to speak a little bit about is our hopes for 2025, and I think one thing that we can say in things that we're hopeful for, that we want and wish for and pray over for Sagefield. One is around the noise. Now, noise is, I suppose, a symptom on the dunes, but we hope that the council and the municipality starts to hold up the law with the dune. That's going to be one of the big things. But a lot of that is wrapped up in our hopes for the council.
That's it. Yeah. We're hoping for a bit of burying of hatchets. I know that sounds very difficult.
Sure.
And not in each other's backs.
Yes.
Let me just stipulate that.
Enough of that has
straight
happened,
away.
yeah.
Don't bury your hatchet in another politician's back. Bury the hatchet. Yeah. A bit of working together for the council. Look, as we mentioned last week.
And for the community,
We're so far, it's very early days, but so far, Mr. Maloba.
Yeah.
The new municipal manager sounds like he's a good guy.
Yeah, that he's got his head around the problem. Could do something about it.
Sounds like he's recognizing and being mindful of the people that are stepping in and helping the municipality. So really hoping that he can make a difference. But he's only as good as the council allow him to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. It's all very interconnected.
If the politicians get involved in the day-to-day running and start. So yeah, we're really hoping for a season of cooperation of the councillors with one another and the councillors with the municipal team.
Yeah, and with the community.
And that would be nice as well.
And that was one of the really good signs as well, that they were meeting with the community, the infrastructure group. And all that. Yeah, so that'll be great to see. And what was interesting, what was cool to hear about that is that he is a bit of an outside guy. He came from another municipality. Where a lot of the council meetings, they were pushing and advocating for, I don't know about the MM position, the municipal manager position, but I know certainly for some of the director positions, they were saying we should do that from, internally. It's just going to make it easier. They're on the payroll. Can't think why they might say that. But they were kind of pushing for that. And I think it already has worked well. Like you say, we're hopeful, very tentative, and it'd be awesome. And I think it is. I think it's going to work. But that somebody from the outside came in and they're not wrapped up in the fight that they had with so and so 2 years ago when you referred to her as an animal or they're not. It's going to make a difference, I think.
As we've seen in our country. When we've been through the Zuma era, followed by the Cyril era.
Zoom through that,
corruption and those sorts of things do run downhill.
Oh, yeah.
And so...
Into a fire pool,
if we've got someone with their finger on the pulse at the top, let's hope that does also flow downhill and we start getting efficiency. There are so many good people working for the municipality. Over the last few years, a lot have left because of frustration.
Understandably, honestly.
So we're really hoping that it'll be a good year, that the good people that are left there will put their shoulder to the wheel. And let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Because we were driving through Knysna yesterday coming back from Plett. And we drove past the waterfronts and all of that. And there was an odor in the air from the overflow. Well, we think. Like we don't have anything official on this. This is, again, just from observation.
Were you on Waterfront Drive?
Yes. On Waterfront Drive there. And then there was the smell. And we kind of gazed out the window and could see some rubbish in the distance. So I really hope that that's not going bad again. But there are so many people. So you know what? There's the good with the bad. Maybe it is really emergency overflow. But we'll wait to hear on that, I'm sure. But one of the things...
What did your odometer say?
I don't have one. But we loved hearing about that in the comments from some of the previous episodes where somebody was saying, hey, she goes out and she picks up litter as she goes and has a bag. And that is, I loved hearing about that. And that's what I'm hopeful, an even cleaner. Now, I don't think we're a particularly rubbish-filled area in terms of litter. I mean, rubbish otherwise. But that'll be great if we do. If we have a community of just picking it up. I used to have the excuse when we walked around with our kids and they see litter and they know it's the right thing to do to pick it up. I'm like, it's COVID times. You can't pick it up. It's got germs. But there is no longer that excuse. But thankfully, we've got an abundance of hand sanitizer everywhere because that was like the biggest industry for like a year.
Look, I think it's all about being proactive and making a habit to maybe take a couple of plastic bags with you when you go on, when you walk about, so that if you do see something fairly that you don't want to hold for too long, you can put it in a plastic bag and throw it away.
It'll make a difference, if we all get in on it together and help each other out with that.
That's it,
one of the other things that we said that we're really hoping for, and I think this pertains especially to the Book of Face.
The Book of Face.
The Book of Face, where I don't think it has the reputation for niceness.
No, it doesn't.
Persuasion and good conversation. It doesn't have that reputation.
It doesn't, does it?
But can we be hopeful here and say, man, I hope that there are some good conversations there?
Yeah, I think so. Look, it's very much a community chat point. What do they used to in the old, very, very old days? They used to call it chatting around the water pump conversations, where ladies used to all go to a central point to collect their water. And then they would talk, obviously, as happens when people get together. And as they're pumping the water, it would be, did you see Vera?
That's it,
What
and that's when the
was she
news spreads.
wearing?"
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, well, her husband has done this. Oh, no wonder she's dressing like that.
Did you hear about
well,
Greg
she's
Spock?
got- Yes. Yeah. Did you hear about the antelope in Fynbos? Ooh, was it in a pie?
Oh, got some biltong for you.
So those were called water pump conversations or water well
Something like
conversations,
that,
whatever,
yeah.
something like. And Facebook, the locals, the local groups.
Yeah.
So the Sedgefield groups.
there's one
have become
especially,
that, haven't they?
Well,
but the problem is that when you're not looking someone in the eye,
Yeah.
you tend to be a bit less polite.
A bit rude,
Yeah.
bit of a jerk,
I've
bit of a
often-
jerk face.
No. I've often thought of if Facebook was live in a let's say in a shop.
Oh yeah,
And
or around a water
someone,
pump.
someone said to one of the cashiers, "Where are those large 2-liter bottles of Coke?"
Yeah,
And someone else saying, "Are you still drinking Coke? Do you know how bad that is for you?"
sugar,
and
plastic.
someone else saying,
shouting, shout.
"Look at the plastic that they use. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be." Well, are you even local? Because us locals don't drink Coke.
Are you even human?
Yes. How dare you come here from another town
Yeah.
and drink Coke out of plastic bottles? You're probably going to throw it in the street, aren't you? I bet your dogs sleep outside as well. Someone would say, we don't do that outside.
Yeah.
We don't do that socially.
You don't do
to
that with
one
real
another.
people, yeah.
So
it's
could we
it's in-
hope for a year where people...
We can hope. I think there's little hope of it, but there can still be a hope because a big part of what it does is it's a place where people go and shout. If you look at each of the comments, even without caps lock on, how many of them are just shouts? It's if you had that water pump scene with a bunch of women or people, whoever, standing with their fingers in their ears that they only unblock when they want to say something.
Yes,
Then
yeah.
it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
But if there was a culture, and I don't know if it exists anywhere on social
Yeah.
media, where you have this actual conversation of
Yeah.
coming forward and saying, hey, this is what I think, or this
Yeah.
is what I know. Even you're very welcome to, of course, say that.
Yeah.
But then listening to a rebuttal.
Yeah, no, that's it. But listening to a rebuttal that's not in the form of an attack.
Exactly.
I think that's
Yeah.
When you think
No.
someone's wrong, there's the ongoing conversation about dogs on leads on the beach.
Yeah.
So the rule there is quite vague. The rule, the Sandparks law, or the municipal bylaw,
Yeah.
between the two, they say that your dog has to be under control at all times in
yeah.
a public place.
Yeah.
Now,
Fair.
years ago, I put that in the paper saying your dog has to be on lead because that's what I thought under control meant.
Yeah. No, immediately in my mind, that's what I'm thinking.
Because people can get their dogs under voice control. And some people believe they can, some
interesting.
people believe they can't. Some people say, well, the dog is only under control until it gets overexcited.
Yeah.
Other people
Or
say
with the
no.
owner, and the leash can make it
we have
worse, I've
spent
heard.
years training our dogs. But that aside, I'm not wanting to say what's right or wrong. But imagine a conversation where someone says, there's a dog. In fact, we spoke about it before.
Yeah.
Someone said, why don't they put, what was it, a purple collar? Or
Oh, the
something?
bandana was like a yellow one.
A
Was
yellow
it the nervous
or something.
yes.
If your dog was nervous.
Yeah.
Now, that to me is constructive. That's
that is,
brilliant.
that's helpful, yeah.
But rather that than say, don't you dare take your dog to the beach
Yeah.
if it's not on a lead. Or
That's it.
I think it's cruel to keep dogs on a lead. Or just have a conversation.
Yeah.
Learn. You're not going to learn if you nag at people. Anyway, that's we've
Rubble.
we've had those are our hopes.
Yes,
for the new year.
A more truthful, a more constructive
And a less
2025.
aggressive.
And less aggressive,
2025.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
That'd
can
be
be
cool.
aggressive about the things that big aggressiveness, that where there's great injustice.
Yes,
We can be
yeah.
aggressive, we can be cross, but we can actually take action and not just be an
Yeah.
armchair warrior
Yeah. That's
who
it,
goes
yeah.
in and picks fights. And, it's a very big culture
Yeah.
to have, I don't know, you've probably heard the term toxic.
Yes,
It's a
yeah.
very toxic culture, which kind of
Yeah.
comes from gaming, where you have people who are just mad all the time, and
Yeah.
that people are not only okay with being mad and being really, really ugly to
Yeah.
each other and impolite, but it's encouraged in some gaming communities.
And trolls
Yeah,
are there.
exactly. That's where I was going. Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
100%. Yeah,
yeah.
And that it's honestly, it is fun. It's
Yeah.
fun to troll.
Yeah,
but it's not right.
It's not
There-
right.
there are
I've
many fun things
I've
we
seen
do that
there's
we
a
shouldn't
couple-
do.
There's a couple of local trolls who say things just for. I mean, the prime example is
Yeah.
someone not in the know saying, "Oh, where can we go and watch fireworks on New Year's Eve?" Yeah, no. Where can we go and
Yeah.
watch fireworks on New Year's Eve? The answer should be, "Hey, sorry,
it's illegal."
because
Yeah,
we're in a
Protected
area. We're surrounded by wildlife. We're not an urban place, really.
Yeah.
We've actually long ago there was a ban on fireworks, so I'm afraid you're not going to find it here.
Yeah.
Say that.
Hey, that's helpful.
Yeah, that's helpful.
I feel informed and
Don't
cared for,
say,
Bubba. Thank you, man.
obviously hate animals. You should be thrown off the back of a truck onto a gravel path and have rocks thrown at you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Nah.
We should have a troll award.
A troll award.
A troll
yeah.
award that we'd give it out at any point. You just print some shirts. You get the troll award. There
Oh,
we
yeah,
go.
there you go. You
so
get
so
to
we
wear
know
the
that you're
shirt.
trolling. That we can take what you say with a pinch of salt, and then it's only because you've done it to yourself ultimately. Hey, but we've been loving the comments that have been coming in. It feels like there are just more and
Yeah.
more of those in. So we first want to encourage you to subscribe to the
Yeah.
podcast, especially whether you're on
On
YouTube,
YouTube, yeah.
or Spotify
Or
or Apple
Spotify.
Music.
Yeah.
Any of those. If you listen somewhere else that we don't know about, please do let us know.
Yeah.
I know I live on, I listen on Podcast Addict to
Okay.
a lot of those. It's just a separate app, and there are a lot of apps for these. Especially, I don't know if there are ads that come through with our YouTube one. I'm on YouTube Premium, so
Okay.
I don't know.
I
but
haven't heard any ads.
Okay, cool. Okay, no, that's good.
So
Well, we
and
just
I'm
had
not
one
on
for
YouTube Premium.
yeah.
So
we had one for the biltong a bit earlier. I hope we
Yes.
don't get flagged for that. But we've just been loving the comments that come in. So please do subscribe.
indeed, yeah.
And you can also comment on Spotify. We do check
Yeah.
those. And then we do try to get the conversation
Yeah,
going
yeah.
and hear some interesting things. One of the interesting things that we heard with regards to the potholes, because we always speak about those and owning
Yeah.
your pothole and fixing those. I think it was Vanessa who said that there was someone on her street or around her street that actually went to the guys on the N2 who were doing repairs, who were doing all of that.
retiring, yeah.
Whoa, watch it.
Yeah.
They're not that. Retarring. Okay,
Retiring,
sorry.
yes.
Okay. And there's all the waste and all the leftover from that, and then he asked, well, what happens with that? They said, no, well, we just kind of chuck it away. So this dude was like, hey, can I appropriate that? Can I
wow.
have that?
Yeah.
Took it and then used it to fix the potholes kind of
that's
in
a
his
grand
street.
idea,
So
yeah.
he owns all of those potholes, which is
Brilliant,
really, really nice.
brilliant.
Eh?
Yeah, that's you see, that's a positive answer.
Isn't it?
Wow, yeah.
Hey, 2025 already.
Oh,
I don't think it was in 2025.
What a pleasure, yeah. Yeah, and also to say that the comments we do get, if we don't mention it straight away in the next podcast, it doesn't mean we're ignoring it. It means
Yeah.
we're looking into.
Yes.
We did have a couple of nice questions from Freegan.
That's it, Freegan,
and
Galant, yeah.
he talked about
IDP,
getting some
huh?
answers about the IDP.
Yes.
Maybe chatting to the counsellors a bit more.
Oh, it's gonna be
I think that
helpful,
would
yeah.
be good. I think we it'd be nice to have a chat with our counsellors.
Yeah. And-
Get them to sort of send us a recording or two. I think it's a bit crowded in this cupboard.
Yeah.
To have them in here.
I got other microphones. We'll do it.
Yeah, okay, we'll
Yeah.
do it.
Well,
That would be good. So we're but I mean they're still on recession. Recess, not
Yes.
recession. They're in recess.
Might be recession,
Counsellors
yeah.
in recess.
Councils in recess. Yeah,
Yes,
they're
yeah.
also on the beach. They're also
They're also
they're doing their part.
I think I must say, I don't think they've really had a break because
no,
I have
no.
seen Lival especially, but also certainly from Cleone.
Oh, yeah.
Posting regular updates on
Yes, on the
WhatsApp about
water.
things that have gone wrong. Water, we're still going through this water situation. I don't know if our reservoirs, those tanks on top of the hill, aren't coping.
Yeah.
Because we've spoken about it before. We certainly don't feel like we're having a drought.
No.
It has been dry for a couple of weeks.
It has been, but it's not drought
said,
levels dry. Yeah,
we're gonna run out of water. I did also hear, I think, from Councillor Lavelle that there was a pipe break in Maioli, Kola Maioli.
Yeah. Okay, well, that would explain a little bit more.
Yeah, so that might have
maybe just very precautionary. But it seems like Neisner has handled everything. I don't know. I feel like
we
if you
haven't
don't
heard
hear,
anything to the contrary, but no news is good news.
I hope so.
Yeah, not for a newspaper. So hopefully by next week we are going to start hearing some news.
There we go. Yeah.
We got our next edition of the paper. What is it?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
It's on the 15th.
Okay, I don't even know what today is.
So I'm back at work next week to start gathering news and snippets.
There we go. And I think you'll have a bunch in there. Hey?
I think so. I think
so. Very good. Oh, last comment that I also wanted to mention was just how where we spoke about the choo-choo, and I'm excited where you spoke about how that tender's actually
been awarded. So now this is I suppose not very professional. I have been told by a reliable source, but I haven't got confirmation of it. But look, it's been speculation for a long time. So let's hope.
Let's be hopeful.
We have to be hopeful.
The current one is a power van, and this was Marita who sent in this comment. Thank you so much.
That's the one in George.
The one in George, that you go from the Railway Museum. And that used to be an inspection kind of a vehicle.
Okay.
I suppose it would still kind of that on those rails. Yeah. And they would go around and that would help out with that and do all the inspecting.
So is that an electric van?
Yes.
Like battery powered?
Yeah, double A's.
Wow, double A.
I don't know about that. But it would be electric.
Yeah. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about that we did talk about. What? We didn't. We talked about it earlier. Was just to put a flea in everyone's ear out there.
Yes.
About a giveaway day once a month.
Okay, yes, thank you. I wrote giveaways in my show notes here, and I couldn't figure out what that was about. Oh, I love this idea. Yes.
So they do it, I think, in Australia, I've heard, and maybe in UK. I think it was Australia, though. They have a certain day a month where people put stuff outside, not their rubbish, but stuff they don't want, serviceable stuff. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be brand new, usable stuff. Let's say an armchair with a bit of a worn arm, or just an armchair you don't like anymore.
Yeah.
An old bookcase, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Maybe some clothing. Or normally household items, though, that you don't want anymore. You don't want to give to, you don't want to throw them away because they're still worth something.
Exactly. So, still usable. So,
have a day where you can either put that outside your house, or maybe a day where you go and drop it off at one of the local charity shops.
Okay, something like that. Well, I was thinking, I mean, there's the car boot sale at the Steam Whistle.
Yes.
And if it could, I mean, that's the second Sunday of every month, and the first one is for the plants. It could be one of those.
Yes,
like a trade. There's no money allowed to be swapped over there, but I mean, maybe even a trading and bartering.
Yes,
that could be cool. But I mean, that takes effort, and that's one of the big things that it takes effort to sell it sometimes, and you don't think you're going to get a lot for it, so it's not even worth the time and effort.
And you might be a bit embarrassed because you're selling a couch with a worn-out arm, or
undies with a few too many holes in it.
Oh no! Don't go there! Don't go.
But they're so comfy. Someone else may very well enjoy these. I don't want to take away their joy. I've worked on these for years and years. No, but that's an issue, and I'm sure the charity stores especially get that a lot of people bringing in stuff that you wouldn't actually, you don't want to use or wear, but you expect someone else to.
Yeah,
there's a bit of lack of dignity there. I don't know.
There is, it is a bugbear for us. We often offer the Edge offices as a drop-off point, especially when there's been some sort of tragedy, so houses burning or something like that.
Crises.
So, and it hasn't happened often, but there's, and I actually think it's the same person. But anyway, that aside, we've received like really badly broken toys, very soiled clothing, like a plastic baby bath with a crack at the bottom so it doesn't hold water.
Useful for Much of it? Anything?
Yeah, so
Oh.
stuff being dumped for those that need
dumped,
them,
yeah.
but that can't really use them.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, another note for the year. Please, when you give with a bit of with the dignity of the recipient in mind.
A bit of decorum.
Yes. Yeah, don't. If someone's lost a lot of stuff, don't think you
Yeah.
can replace it with your soiled socks.
Yeah, with the rubbish stuff.
Or, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's still said with a lot of appreciation for the people who do give and who do
Yes.
donate
Oh,
and acknowledging
they're
that.
amazing,
Because
amazing.
we've got an amazing community for that. I was
Yeah.
blown away with the house fire in Meeringsride a
Yes,
few
the
weeks
people
back.
that came. The people were so generous.
And the number of stories that
So
happen
very
with that.
generous.
Whenever there's a fire,
Yeah.
whenever there is a tragedy or something,
Yeah.
it's a great characteristic
Yeah.
of Sagefield. And, it's-
and people step in and organize and just it's great. It
No,
really
absolutely
is great.
beautiful
Yeah, I
community for
really
that.
really don't want to take anything away from those.
no, of
people.
course not.
But
also
yeah.
to acknowledge that.
Yes,
It
yeah,
is helpful, I
yeah,
think, in
yeah.
a time where it's not making an appeal directly for that, but
Yeah.
in the ones that will come,
Yeah.
because there will be those.
Yes,
and we
yeah.
will need to be there for each other. And I really hope that we will
Well,
be.
this is my gross year, and that is
I
getting
thought last
rid,
year was a little bit, but I didn't want to.
getting rid of serious stuff.
Oh, good. You said stuff this time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually, I went to look for our Christmas tree. Years ago, my
Yeah.
wife and I argued about, I always believed that a Christmas tree should be a tree that is real
Yeah.
and trimmed nicely and,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
so on. And my wife said, nah, we can get
Just the
one of
plastic
these
goodie.
standard plastic ones because, come on, they're alien species, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. So anyway, she won. So we have this fold-up Christmas tree,
Yeah.
hidden somewhere.
Somewhere.
Well,
in the roof.
I say
under
hidden. My wife was very, very busy. We had this deal on that all Christmas presents had to be homemade or home baked.
yeah, we did that for a few years.
Yeah,
Sure. It's a
because
lot
it
of
just
effort,
saves
but
a
so
lot of
good.
money,
Yeah.
and you know it's yeah. Anyway, so she was busy doing that because she's a much craftier person than I am.
Always thought so. Yeah.
And so I said, no, well, I'll find the tree and put it up.
Oh, nice. Well
So
done.
I searched the house for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I discovered all of this
must have
stuff
been magic stuff.
that we didn't know, I'd forgotten we had.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you actually buy a new one because you've
Yes.
forgotten you've got the old
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
And you desperately need a new one. And then as soon as you bought the new one, you find the old one.
Yeah, yeah.
Which happens to be better because it's a better old
Oh,
one.
yeah. And it's a new one.
So
Both-
after
both of them
3
haven't been
hours-
used,
3
but-
hours of emptying rooms because we have got rooms with boxes and
Yeah.
boxes. Oh man,
How it goes,
I thought
eh?
our house would be emptier when our kids left, but they didn't
no.
take their stuff with them.
Yeah.
So anyway, that aside, so eventually I had to go and say to Mrs. my wife.
You were going to say Mrs. Ed.
I was. Yeah. I had to go and say to her the normal thing,
Yeah.
which is, have one of our children borrowed our Christmas tree
Of
or our
course.
whatever.
blame goes elsewhere.
Because I can't find it. And
Yeah.
I've turned the house upside down. I've looked clearly. It's one of the children's fault. They
Yeah.
borrowed it and they've not
course.
given it back, or maybe it was lent to someone else or something.
Yeah.
And she said, "Can you not find it?" And I said, "No, of course it's not here." And of course, she walked up to one of the rooms that I had searched high and low.
Many,
in,
many a time.
And she said, "That box on the floor that says Christmas tree on it." I said, "Yes."
You brought that up with you, didn't you?
Did you not look in that?
Not yet.
didn't. In my head,
Yeah.
it was a green box.
No,
in
exactly.
my head, it was a green
But
box.
No,
So-
this is a scientific thing that men's brains process differently. That if you look for exactly what you expect to see, and because like right now, if you're looking somewhere, your eyes can see everything else around, but
Yeah.
it's focused. It blocks out the unimportant stuff. You know,
Yes.
the action figures and the methylated spirits. What is that doing there? It's got weird. But it blocks out all of those. So it'll block
Yeah.
that out. And it does that for dudes, especially well.
like,
Blame it on the brain.
she'll say, it's in the teapot in the center of the top shelf.
Yeah.
Not a Christmas tree. I mean,
Yes.
whatever we're looking for. And I'll go and I'll look in the center of the shelf and the teapot's not there. And I said,
Yeah.
there's no teapot
What?
here. It's there. No, there's no teapot there.
what are you talking
It's there. And eventually she'll come over and say, okay, slightly to the left of the center of the shelf.
There we go.
That's where the teapot is.
That would have been helpful right
Tunnel
at the
vision.
start.
Yeah. So anyway,
okay.
while I was looking for the tree, I
Yeah.
discovered all the stuff that I didn't know we had. So I'm going to get rid of some serious stuff.
You know, I think that's cool. I think that's a good one to make because that's actually tangible. That's doable. There are
It
places
is,
to
it
give.
is.
There are ways to give. I like
That's
it.
it.
So you know
Yeah.
what, Bomber? I'm hopeful that you'll have a gross year.
Thank you. You too. You
Hey,
too.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
And well done, and thank you for our first podcast, our
Yes,
first
it's
episode
been
of the
good.
year. Looking
Yeah.
forward to the rest of them.
And-
And always, as always, thanks for the chat.
Thank you.